Don't you do that to my boy. I just got it.
Did you buy how much did you pay for that?
I just got it. I traded 4 boxes of Floodborne.
Oh, bad trade.
You think? All right.
God. Look like a He-Man. Whoa. Welcome to MetaZoo with you, America's most favorite MTG and One Piece TCG podcast. I am, of course, joined by the man with the plan, with all the automation, Josh.
The automation service is running right now. I'm watching it.
How's it going?
It's great.
Anything selling?
Yeah. Everything.
When is the automation going to take over your channel?
God, hopefully
about a week
soon.
ago. And I am, of course, joined by the pick a host, win the host, Louis DeGeorge.
The only thing I can think about right now is when is Magic going to do a He-Man crossover? Because you started off with He-Man, and now I'm just
I think it's He-Man. What's the werewolf character?
Oh, that was the one from Avengers.
Sure.
What are we talking about?
You.
All right.
What? I'm so confused.
And we're joined by George. He's here 3 weeks in a row. I mean, it's like a wild. He's not a guest anymore.
I'll be a lot colder next week if I'm on the podcast.
Leave it in the comment section your predictions for how many episodes in 2024 George will be involved in.
I love how I try to cure incurable diseases and get mocked for it.
Yeah.
The only thing I mock you for is your inability to carry a 2-pound microphone in your bag.
I won't do it. I have the big headphones. It's enough.
It's too much. The microphone's too much.
He's busy when he's in the hotel.
It's a weird line.
Not a hotel. If it was a hotel, wouldn't be a problem.
All right. Today, everyone, we are talking about our predictions for 2024. This is not
shocking content for the end of the year. I know.
This is brand new content for you guys.
No, we've never done it before.
We're going to talk about all the predictions for 2024. We're going to talk about the best and worst of Magic. We're going to
riveting content.
We're going to be overly positive and overly negative all at the same time. We're going to talk about
doesn't complain.
The sorcery buyouts and also discuss 2024 and what we'd like to see them change and do in 2024. George's One Piece in 2024.
I'm ready.
And then we're going to question if Lorcana is going to even be able to come out with the third set this year.
Never know. You never know. And
then
really
the last segment's going to be called MetaZoo 2025 ? All right, everyone, let's freaking go. Let's go. Best and worst of Magic. Josh, did you post your video yet?
No, it's tomorrow.
Your video comes out on Thursday.
Yes.
All right, so people can go watch Josh's takes, and if you've been watching my channel,
you already did this?
I mean, we're going to do some content with it. God, there's like legitimately nothing else happening. In Magic
you're
right now.
The worst. How do you not understand how this works yet, bud?
This is why all the big shot content creators like Tellurian Community College, they just do like 1 or 2 videos a week because there's just not enough content to keep it up. And even in those videos, it's not always Magic.
Cycle. Yeah, I miss it.
You guess the card, win the card every day.
Dude, all right. Guess the card, win a card. That short has over 4 million views. It's the most viewed Magic the Gathering short of all time, including
how many subscribers do you have now? It's like 20 million subscribers,
including the official Magic the Gathering YouTube channel. It's the most viewed Magic the Gathering short of all time.
Do you feel respected by your peers or no?
Not according to the comment section. Well, Ramsey doesn't feel respected. He's getting roasted. Dude, the comment sections, George, you would love the comment sections on these videos. They are gold mines of insults. It's amazing how insulting. I like feel bad for some of the people who are on the videos because they're
not bad enough not to whip out his camera.
No, not enough. No. Also publicly humiliate them for views, but I do feel bad.
They have a chance at a free card, man. They love it.
I saw one of them, so I finally got tired. I'm not subscribed to you.
Yeah, that follows.
YouTube constantly asks me to watch your dumb shorts.
Yeah,
like on the beep beep beeps on the phone thing.
It's wild.
I watched one. I watched the Bitter Blossom person.
Yeah,
that was good. It was good content.
I was surprised Bitter Blossom's still worth anything.
Yeah, thank you. I was talking to somebody about this earlier today or this week. I was like, this card's just not that good.
Yeah, I was around when Bitter Blossom was a $50 card.
It's still like $25. It's unbelievable. It's been reprinted a ton too. It was in a secret layer. It was anyway. All right. Best and worst of Magic 2023. Who wants to kick it off?
Me. Lord of the Rings.
Nailed it, bud.
Well, okay.
Got there.
Who wants to go next?
All right. So what was so good about Lord of the Rings?
What do you mean? What wasn't?
So, all right. So, like, here's the honest answer: is that like the big winner of the year was crossover sets. It was Universes Beyond.
Yeah.
That like Magic this year absolutely proved they're able to consistently nail Universes Beyond products.
100%.
Yeah,
And that was something that
I didn't realize Doctor Who was doing so well.
Yeah, like and like,
Rudy's video
clear,
today,
like,
I looked up the prices. Like, I don't believe the price he just said in his video, and I looked up. I was like, oh my gosh, that's
yeah. I'm like, that's the big winner. Is that like Wizards has, which is also their big negative, which I'll get into in a minute, but like Wizards has basically totally proven they're able to build Magic sets around other people's IP, routinely and successfully, and that's a big win. Like, that's not what when they were discussing Universes Beyond, there was not a lot of love for it.
not on this channel. There wasn't
on one person on this channel. There was some love for it, but that's okay. We won't name names.
I'll name names. I was super anti the Universes Beyond stuff, and I've come around. I'm
okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Well, I mean, like,
say it.
I'm okay with it from a content creator perspective and from a store owner perspective.
Do it.
The Magic the Gathering player in me hates it, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like
that person never happens anyway.
Yeah, like, I mean, players have proven they want it. That's the big win. What I do think it does point to is like the big miss of 2024 is like, does Wizards now feel that they don't need to build on their own IP?
Yeah,
because they have the crutch of Universes Beyond.
Well, hold on. Can we go back to the positive on that? Because I want to say, I think, in my opinion, the best part of Lord of the Rings was the price point. Like, they increased the pricing a little bit, right? Like, it wasn't a standard price set, but it wasn't what they did with Commander Masters, which is like outrageously disgusting prices that nobody, including stores, wants to pay. Like that, the price point on Lord of the Rings, the price point on Doctor Who, the price point on the Fallout sets, like the Universes Beyond stuff that they're doing is priced in a way that the consumer is excited about it. And it's also powerful, and it's good, and it's honed in. And I think that that's the catalyst for Lord of the Rings that sets it, has set it up for success. That, I think, for me, that's the best part of the whole Lord of the Rings set.
The big me wasn't Lord of the Rings; it was Warhammer.
That was last year.
Shout out to Warhammer.
Yeah.
I mean, you nailed it. The Warhammer, the draft booster box for Lord of the Rings, the all-time high was like $190, $199 on TCG Player, and the average was like $150, $154. So more expensive than a regular booster box, but also more valuable stuff, different IP. We talked about playing Magic in the world of Lord of the Rings and how much fun that is. Like, there was no product in that set that was a miss. And you'll see people complain like, oh, the price of the collector booster box stuff, but it kind of did what George suggested last week in the podcast. It gave you a collector booster box that was expensive, where things felt special, and there was something crazy to chase in there, right?
Yeah, the One Ring, the hype around that was.
Well, but it wasn't just the One Ring. Like, we proved it wasn't just the One Ring because the price of the box remained after the One Ring was pulled.
I think the One Ring added a ton, though. Like, I mean, remember the amount of content being made from outside Magic the Gathering sources? Like, that's such a huge win.
Oh yeah, that's my best video this year. Like, by far is the One Ring video. Like,
because you like were there when it was sold, right? You were like,
I was working at my desk. I saw it news. I stopped working. I went busy. I made a video, published it, went back to work.
Content is so toxic. It's like amazing.
He didn't even call his content creator friend Louis and tell him first.
I texted you.
I found out because George texted me, and while I was looking at the notification from George, I saw the notification that Josh posted a video.
Do you know what I did do for you? Is all the assets I created for thumbnails, I sent them directly to you.
You're great.
I was like, hey buddy, go for it. Check this out.
You're amazing. I was at breakfast with a friend anyway, so
I did call you. You were at breakfast. I called you at breakfast. You answered the phone.
Did I?
We went to a good breakfast when I saw you, Lou. What was that breakfast place called? That place was great.
That's my favorite breakfast place, Annie's.
We go somewhere?
Me and you?
I know Josh took me to 2 good breakfast places.
Yeah,
No,
Josh took me to
breakfast place was the goat.
We've only interacted in real life
Wawa.
twice.
There was a trick. It was Wawa was the answer. Wawa was the answer.
Dude, somebody came in with a Bucky's hat yesterday into the shop.
Yes.
And I was like, I almost took a picture. I was like, hey man, I love your hat. And it was great. It was a great interaction. And then today I saw a meme that was like, Americans love this. And it was a giant cruise ship, but not a cruise ship. It was a semi truck and like driving. And on the different layers, it was just Bucky's and like a Bucky's slide. It's like, oh my gosh, George.
They're right.
They're right. All over this.
All over it. All over it.
The Bucky's cruise truck. You should start that.
Can we do a Bucky's booze cruise where we just get a DD and they take us to various Bucky's and we buy beverages?
I will say, you know what? Their soda went up in price last time I was at a Bucky's. I was not happy with it.
We could do it like
$1.59 for like, the big one.
We could do it like a van tour.
Yes. No, I want Bucky's to survive.
It'll be great.
I need Bucky's to survive. Sorry.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, Lord of the Rings was my pick for best thing too.
Shocking. Yeah. Never saw it coming.
The other thing with price point, the commander decks were like reasonably priced. Like comparing it to Commander Masters, I think is really good. Like Commander Masters, the entry level deck was like $80. Like that was the lowest price of any of the decks. Whereas Lord of the Rings, like you could get a whole set of decks for like $150, I think, like on release or something like that.
I like the little I think they had the exclusive cards in the promo packs.
Oh yeah, those were crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't like that, but they were crazy.
Why do you like that? I think that's a great idea.
They knew about it. They didn't even know about it. TCG player didn't even know about it.
Little Scoopy, little sneaky peek. I like that.
Yeah, I actually like the idea of like special things coming out. Like when the set releases, there's some like unknowns and surprises. We don't get that anymore. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm just salty because I missed out on it.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
That was like, remember I opened all 80 of them on the channel and I opened them before anybody knew that there was like good cards in it. And I listed all the cards. And while we were listing them, I like had one, my store manager at the time, I had them listed. And like, then TCG player changed the listings because there was no correct version of it. And it was just wild. It was wild. It turned into like 20 like not negative reviews, but it had canceled sales and stuff because of the way that TCG player dropped the ball. They like changed the listing. Shout out to TCG player, sponsor of the channel. There's a TCG player affiliate link in the description of my videos.
I finally heard back from them about that. It's been like a year.
And they just changed their system.
And they called me Christian. And I said, first of all, name's Josh. That's how I responded to the support email. First off, not my name.
So do you have an affiliate link now?
I think so. Well, I have to log into the
below. We're gonna see who
doesn't sound like he knows what it is.
No, I don't even know. I don't even know if I have one. There are comments on this podcast that are like, "What's his channel again?" So that's kind of my status, George, just to give you an idea of what's going on.
Promo code George for no discount, but you will get an error message.
Yes. So something that's interesting about Lord of the Rings is there just wasn't like a miss of a product in there, all the way down to the starter decks. The coolest product in there. And I played these with my buddy and it's worth nothing. There's no financial value there, but they're really fun. And he's a massive Lord of the Rings fan and knows like most of the characters. And even that was a really cool product. Like the set just did not miss. There was something cool in the bundles even, which that never happens.
The bundles were crazy.
Yeah, there's never anything cool in the bundles. They were so cool that TCG player undercut everybody and sold 3,000 bundles in a day or something.
Months after release.
Yes.
The bundle's really good.
It's responsible for like, I think it's like 6.2 million out of $22 million in total Magic sales this year.
The bundle
that I've tracked. No, the Lord of the Rings. It's got a massive.
A little bit more than that, to be honest.
It's a pretty big piece of the pie, considering it came out mid-year.
Yeah,
the GOAT.
Yeah, it was a weird like July release, wasn't it? Yeah.
August, I think.
That set carried LGSs the whole year. That was
set.
It created new players, it created new customers, it created a whole new. That was the best thing for the Magic ecosystem the entire year, in my opinion.
And remember, it wasn't supposed to be the big hit. Commander Masters was supposed to be the Modern Horizons of the year. It was supposed to be the big shining glow.
Yeah. Again, I go back to pricing. That's my worst of the year. Is the Commander Masters release. The whole thing was a mess. The pricing was too high. The the reprints that they then put in Wilds of Eldraine, like the very next set.
Oh, that
there's just way too much negative that went into Commander Masters, and that should have been a highlight for LGSs this year. Instead, it was a complete and utter debacle.
It bugged me that every single normal version of the card was the just same art as the most recent printing version of the card.
George, I don't have a watch on, but what year is it? Is it going to be? You said by end of year, what were boxes going to be at for set boxes?
$1K.
$500 for set boxes?
No, he said $500 like shortly after release.
What are they at?
Like 300, maybe.
We're getting close.
Not
close. Come on, boy.
290.
Buy them up. I heard on the video today, market's very thin on them. Doesn't take much to buy them out.
Is anybody out there trying to buy out Magic product? That's a terrifying game to try to play.
They can't buy out indies. They can't buy out Magic. That's my take. If like 3 dudes can't save an indie, can't save Magic.
What was your guys' worst of Magic?
I wanted to stick with the good for a second.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Louis.
Because it's not, we talk Universes Beyond gets a lot of credit, but the last 2 standard sets, Wilds and Lost Caverns, like, remember where we were at the end of 2022 with standard sets?
Yeah.
Like, none of them felt great. Even the ones that had
call them tentpole sets. I don't know what standard set is. I'm sorry, Josh.
Well, these would be non-tentpole sets.
Why were they not tentpole sets?
The tentpole set would be like Commander Masters and Lord of the Rings.
Wait, is that true? No, I thought tentpole was
there were 6. Isn't there 6 tentpole sets? Isn't that?
Oh, is that what it is?
I think there's 6 tentpoles.
I got my tent poles mixed up.
Magic lingo.
I got my tent poles crossed.
Get your tent poles right.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. I gotta focus on the tent pole.
Got all crooked on us. We got to straighten it out.
So the tent pole releases for standard at the end of 2023, pretty great. I did not see that coming. I didn't see that coming. The whole year.
The whole year had good themes, good mechanics, good engagement. Maybe with I didn't really like March of the Machine.
But March of the Machine it sold really well. Yeah. I think it's the second highest selling set of the year when you just consider draft set and collector for standard releases. It's really good.
I think that for me, the commander decks are for my store, the big thing. So like the March of the Machine ones didn't do very well, but Lost Caverns, absolutely crazy. That set for locally for us has been by far the best release other than Lord of the Rings.
It's so good. It's so good. And the Dr. Ian Malcolm card is still super cool.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, Louis, you can get to it now. What's your worst?
Like my worst was Commander Masters. I honestly he was weird with we talked about privately the Rudy video a little bit. He said that this year was going to be looked at like negatively in the history of Magic. Listen, I know the reserve list is down. I know that like collectors are upset at Magic the Gathering. But dude, I feel like players and in my opinion, like LGSs I talk to, I guess, and my LGS, like I've had a great year. Like this has been a fantastically positive year for Magic. Like, I think there's a big thing with Commander Masters that was a big miss. March of the Machine Aftermath came up in my mind as like something that just sucked, but like
bad.
That at least didn't burn anybody. Like
everyone saw it coming.
Yeah, everybody saw that one coming. Like the problem with Commander Masters is that they encouraged it to be so good, and then they hyped up the price. Yep. The print run was basically $1 billion. Like we didn't get cut on anything, and then it just the market rejected the price because it was too expensive.
Well, it exposed the big flaw in the system, right? And this has become more apparent to me with doing the podcast with you guys over the last year. The fact that stores have to put in their order so far in advance. And when a set commands the price that they wanted for Commander Masters, it comes like you look at the name Commander Masters and go, well, this is going to be a banger. And then you find out your $10,000 pre-order gets you 7 boxes, right? And you're like, what am I going to do with this? It was a disaster from the start.
They really did a number on the name Masters this year. Dominaria remastered, Commander Masters. Like I think that they are like really.
I don't know if you could be like remastered and masters are the same thing.
That's like how they sell it though. The price point of it all.
But it's not a master set. It's remastered.
No, remastered sets are cheaper than master sets.
Not by that much.
It's the same. It's an old set, but like redone a little bit. It's not a master set.
It's all
When I think of
reprints.
master
Both
set, I
of
think
them
of
are all reprints, and like I see
one's
the
only one
remaster
set of
set
a
as like
reprint.
a master set specific to a plane. That's how I view it.
I gotcha.
I think that's how the consumer views it too, to be honest. Like there's
I think
no
that's
new cards.
I think that's how it's defined also.
Yeah. But
Oh, can I push back on something you said earlier? You said it's a great year for players, and it's like I understand it's a down year for collectors. Comparing 2023 to 2022, and then even like 2021, I think Magic's taken a step in a positive direction when it comes to collectability. Actually, it's better than it was in 2022, wasn't it? Now we have
how so?
like the last two collector boxes have chase cards that are actually chase cards.
Yeah.
Right.
You and I just have different views of what the collectible is. And like, I don't like, I take the stance of like anything with a name collector on it. It's just,
but okay. These cards command a pretty insane price on the secondary market. And there's not a ton of them. They're not coming out of every box. They're very hard to pull.
You're talking about like the anime.
The anime confetti foils, which are the heavy chase. And then the, God, what are they called? The emblem foils for Lost Caverns, right? These cards are crazy expensive, and they're selling. People are trying to get them.
Here's my pushback to that. Do you feel like, and I agree with what you're saying, they are adding cool, hard to pull things. When I think of collecting Magic, though, maybe it's just me, I think of like reserve lists, old school Magic, like hard to find cards, your Gaia's Cradle, like that's in my mind collectible Magic stuff. I think like the low population cards like you're talking about are going to hold a premium just because they're so low population. I'm not convinced that it encourages a ton of collectability in the game. Like most people I talk to don't care at all about those cards. They're not like, it's not encouraging people to collect the game or collect the whole thing. It's just like a lottery ticket. They pull it, they get to sell it, they made a lot of money. That's cool.
Sure, but they're selling it to someone, right? And that person is buying it when they could buy the $10 or $5 even version of some of these cards. And I think of collecting the same as you. When I collect Magic, it's serialized cards and it's reserved list. Like, and I just started with serialized cards like this year. If I'm doing like any serious high value collecting, those are the two areas I look. But we have to understand, I think the people we talk to are like us. They've been in the game for a while. Magic's got new people coming in every day, especially with things like Lord of the Rings, bringing people into the game. Especially, I don't know how much Lost Caverns of Ixalan brings Jurassic Park fans. I don't know. I think that's already existing Magic fans that like that kind of stuff. But
yeah, it's
this does represent like a new way to collect Magic the Gathering, and a rare, hard to get card that commands an extremely high value and sells very quickly. To me, represents something that defines collectible to me.
Yeah,
right?
I guess
I expected low supply and high value.
I expected that the sales rate on those would look more like the Kamigawa ones, like the neon.
They're rarer, I think.
These are, or the Kamigawa ones are.
No, these ones, the specific ones feel rarer, but maybe that's just because I was being negative about Kamigawa back in the day.
Yeah, I don't think so. I just looked up Ristic Study on the confetti foil, and it sells one a day, which is like I was looking at it to get a point to say, like the sales volume says that it, but it's the opposite of that. Like it. I
looked before we started the podcast. Yeah. I did my research.
Nice,
good job, Josh. I'm proud of you.
Good job. Makes one of us.
Yeah, that's the only thing I looked at. Don't worry.
That's pretty good sales volume for a $350 card for Magic. I mean,
right.
Especially for just an alt art. So maybe I'm missing that a little bit. But I just, man, I look at like the sales volume and the demand of your high end reserve list stuff. And I don't feel like
the same
phenomenon. These are less they're lower tier, right? Sorry, go ahead, George.
The same phenomenon happens in sports cards, where like ultra modern cards get a weird premium that it's unclear if they deserve, and I suspect the same thing is happening here. Like I would much rather have a $400 reserve list card than a $400 modern card over it for 20 years, right? In 20 years, I have a hunch as to which one I think will be worth more money. Right. But like people, for some reason, strongly prefer ultra modern.
Well, that's your new Magic fan, right? Your new Magic fan that we've talked about on this podcast. They don't have that connection to the reserve.
I'm not as convinced of that, to be candid. I'm not.
Listen,
I'm not
your
as
new
convinced
Magic
that, like
fan
somebody who learned about Magic 3 weeks ago is now buying a $400 confetti card. Like,
no, I don't think that's true.
Oh no.
But I think like somebody who's been playing Magic for 2 years, in my opinion, in my brain is like, oh man, that person wants a Gaia's Cradle, and like. Those people who I talk to in the store these days, they don't even really know what a Gaia's Cradle is. They haven't really seen one. There's not like
depressing.
And when the community corrects it, we've seen it before. It generally happens very quickly. The shattered glass foil transformer cards, for example, right? Like the correction on that was quick. These are maintained. They're just kind of holding steady.
Louis sold the peak. Louis was probably the highest viewed Magic video in the highest sale of a
get out, baby, card. Get out. Good for you.
$2,500, right?
What?
It was like $2,500 for you, right?
I was gonna say it was $1,750. I thought you said $250. Yeah, I think it was $1,750 if I remember correctly. But yeah, that one I cleaned up on.
yeah.
That was on eBay too. Those.
Yeah.
Thank God, dude.
Shout out to that poor bastard. Thanks, buddy.
Shout out to eBay authentication too.
Authentication, you got it.
That saves so many eBay scams. You know how much like you have to worry when you sell a card like that on eBay previous to that stuff of like the guy being like, "Hey, it's damaged. I want a refund." Because of the price correction, but now you don't have any of that because you ship the card, the guy authenticated whatever it is, and it's like good to go. That is such like an under discussed thing about how good that is for sellers.
Shout out to eBay/TCG player.
Yeah,
and just expose your data to me already so I can stop this scraping thing. It's really difficult.
What? Yeah, expose your data below. Give us your data.
Yeah, I'm already I'm getting it. You're just making me work too hard.
Anyway, what else did you guys think was not good in Magic this year?
The one big miss is like the big miss they had last year because like they still have not built their IP. Like that will be their big miss in my view until they fix
modern Magic.
Yeah. I mean, like it is incredibly strange to me that they consistently miss that. And like it is easily the way that they can most improve Magic over the next 10 to 20 years.
Yes.
Like I think if you can turn cards like into characters, you'll make more money. This is what Lorcana is telling you. Is like people want to play with characters. And this is why Universes Beyond is working so well. Yeah. People want to play with characters. They don't want to play with cards. And like it is like, you know, and like they what I hope my brother Chris Cox has learned from this experience is like you can't do it in-house. You're not good at it. Like you bought
they're bad at it.
They're bad at it. They paid a fortune for E1, lost a ton, dumped it for pennies, and like it's because
but that's
it sucks. They're bad at it.
That's the business side of being bad at it, but like just the content side of it, they're bad at it too.
They're bad at it.
We were talking about. I was talking to somebody about War of the Spark. Remember the big trailer, the War of the Spark trailer?
Yeah.
Do you remember, Josh, that one of the characters dies in that trailer?
Yeah.
And then in the set, Dak Faden, I think, is that who it was? In the set, there's like no, like he didn't die in the actual set. So like the trailer for the set kills off a character, and then when the set comes out, that character is like still there and still in it.
Like, it's almost like they forgot to design him into the set, and then they're like, "Oh crap, we'll kill him off in the trailer. It'll be fine."
Yeah.
If you want to have like how you're going to sell more boxes of Magic over the next 10 to 20 years, it's got to be fixing that.
It's got to be a Netflix series. It's got to be.
I mean,
Netflix series would go so good.
They got to eat some humble pie. Realize they suck at building this content and go hire somebody to go do it right. Like,
so they tried that though, and then they didn't do it because something happened with it was the Russo brothers, the guys who did the Avengers or something like that, right? Josh, help me out here. Are you not an Avengers fan? You look like an Avengers fan.
I don't know the lore.
Don't you think?
You
like
do.
Josh fits the description of an elevator.
Totally fair.
Why is that?
Look at that hair. That hair is a wildebeest.
Yeah.
That hair.
I'm growing my hair out because I don't know how much longer I'll be able to do it.
Yeah. You gotta like. Are you okay?
No, I'm just getting older. Then sooner or later, you got to start looking respectable.
Bald is beautiful.
I feel like success looks like you, and I'm afraid that one day I'll have to look like that.
You should be so lucky. You should be so lucky.
You're right. That's true.
But the Russo brothers were hired to do the Netflix show, and then everything just disappeared. And it was they had creative differences.
Yeah, and I mean, like, part of me is like, don't have creative differences. The people who know better than you just suck it up.
Yeah,
like that's.
I bet you it was way more political than that. That's the problem.
Oh, never mind. I don't know. I don't know whose side I'm on then.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm on whoever's most woke. I'm on whoever's most woke.
They probably like made an accidental tweet or something, and got fired over it.
I don't know whose side I'm on yet.
I'm on whoever's most woke, and therefore, from what I've read on X, also most broke.
Yeah, I don't know whose side I'm on then. It's complicated. It's a complicated topic.
I agree with you about the IP. Like
they gotta, and like it's frustrating for me because it seems like money should just be able to solve this problem, right? Like this doesn't seem that hard. Like money can solve this.
Money can buy you a story.
So I think the problem with that is that it's a 30-year-old game with 30 years of broken IP that they have completely utterly messed up.
Doesn't that mean though that you could just pick up wherever?
Bingo. Do it.
I think what it means is they need to like literally they just need to. And I thought this was what was going to happen.
That was the big March of the Machines theory.
This
plane kill everybody.
This plane is a nuclear war on the entire rest of the Magic universe.
They were just going to restart and be like,
plane,
all right,
son.
But they didn't do that. They should have listened to us. Why don't they listen to our crappy YouTube channel?
Watson,
other games
go full Watsonheimer.
Watsonheimer. That's good.
Yeah, that's my big mess.
Yeah, I could see that. I think we saw something that we're going to see them continue to try to do, and it's clear that they don't have a grasp on how to do it yet, and that's to try to make us play with a Magic set for longer. Right, we saw that with Phyrexia. We saw that with kind of March of the Machine. We saw that with them extending Lord of the Rings and doing a second kind of holiday re-release of the product. And some of the things they did hit. Complete Bundle. Complete Bundle is up there with maybe the best product of the entire year. It's on that short list.
It's definitely on the list.
It's on the list. Yeah. And then the other two examples just like did not get it done. Right, it just goes to show they're trying to solve that problem, and they did not get it.
Lord of the Rings 2.0 was such a miss because it could have been so good. And it's all marketing. Like their marketing.
Yeah, I mean, they should have had Frodo in a Santa hat. This isn't hard.
Their marketing team dropped the ball hard on that.
I want Frodo in a Santa hat throwing that one ring into a snowman.
Did Louis show you the emblem I made? So I'm doing a ranking every Magic set live stream, and two Lord of the Rings sets have the exact same logo. So I put a Santa hat on one.
I like that.
That's the holiday edition.
Where you at, Chris? Let's go.
It's not even labeled as a holiday edition.
No, it's not.
Got that though. We've said that every time we've talked about it on both of our channels.
We read it in an article that one of us probably wrote somewhere, and it's been wrong ever since.
Welcome to MetaZoo to be with you.
All right, to end this topic, I think one of the things that Magic is focusing on is just leaning into the play side of the game. Like George, about the IP side, right? I feel like they have just hard committed to the idea that they are just the most played TCG ever, and that they don't need to do some of that stuff because and they said this in the fireside chat, which unfortunately wasn't in 2023. Otherwise, that would be my worst of Magic the Gathering for the year.
And worse than Commander Masters is that chat.
Like, here's where they're right: is that no game on the market today is going to get close.
No
Nobody's
shot.
Gonna get close.
No shot. Like,
but what bothers me about that is that's not who you should be competing with then, right? If you've dominated your market, which they clearly have, you're competing with somebody else then. Like then you need to compete with like video games.
Exactly. I was just saying it's called video games.
Yeah, like things that people actually play and actually care about and actually sell a lot of units of. Like that's what you're actually competing with if you've dominated this market. Like there's no game's gonna get close to Magic in my lifetime, I don't think.
Yeah. Oh no. If a game gets
Maybe
close to Magic, TCGs are dying and or dead.
From a gameplay perspective, for sure.
Shout out to One Piece and or
from what other perspective?
Like from a sales or a number of cards sold or success of the IP, the brand. Pokemon. I was talking about Pokemon.
Well, success of the brand is not. We're not having a MetaZoo conversation right now.
You should have your victory cap on for Pokemon this year, buddy.
I want to start a Pokemon podcast so bad.
You could. It should be called "Why Are All My Cards Worthless?"
It should be called
a Pokemon TCG store.
It's got to be something with sorcery. It's got to be like opposite Pokemon. Welcome to the realm. Welcome to the realm of Pokemon podcast. So to mimic May the Zoo be with you, a Magic the Gathering podcast. Welcome to the realm Pokemon podcast.
Let me ask you guys this, and you one answer. I've told you what I think. I think the complete bundle might be the best product this year. I think that's where I'm going to lay my stamp, just so I don't go very long. What's the single best product this year? Don't get a set. You don't get a collection of one box. The single product that you can buy on a shelf. What's the best?
I got a wild one.
The Phyrexia All-Will-Be-One AR pin set from Pinify.
Okay, you're done. Great.
I'm going Doctor Who.
What?
I'm going Doctor Who.
No. A single box. You don't get the whole set.
Like Doctor Who Commander deck. Screw you.
Which one? You get one box.
I can't name it.
You get one box, George.
Number 3.
The worst.
That's the good one, right? Is that number 3 was the one that was like everybody wanted?
That's the tiny one. I think is the baller one. That's the.
Yeah. I'd go with Lord of the Rings collector boxes, the first ones, just because of what it did for the community.
We've come so far with you and Lord of the Rings in 2023. What a journey it's been.
It's amazing what sales will do. It's amazing what sales will do.
It's amazing what money will do.
On Louis' Discord, all of a sudden he's got boxes of Lorcana for sale. No longer an indie TCG in his Discord. Got boxes for sale. Welcome to the big leagues.
That's because somebody else commented about it. That wasn't you. I won't change anything for you because you're you. But when somebody else asks for it to be changed, you should just create an alt and ask for me to do things.
We also don't cover indie TCGs at this point on this podcast.
That's because there are none according to Louis. If you sold 3 boxes, you're no longer indie
TCGs anymore.
We do. We cover sorcery.
Not an indie.
Sorcery and indie
yes.
TCG.
Oh my god.
It's a Kickstarter TCG.
Oh my god. Somebody save me. Somebody help me.
Millions of dollars in crowdfunding and backed by a multi-million-dollar company.
Let's go to predictions for 2024.
Wait, isn't that God?
No, we just evaluated 2023.
Yeah.
Predictions for 2024.
Why do you hate fun, George? Just out of curiosity.
Terrible content. Magic. Like, is this predictions for Magic or what are we predicting on?
It's labeled MTG predictions 2024.
Well, I don't see that on my screen. Magic will continue to win.
Listen, reading is hard.
Magic will continue to win. Hot takes by George.
What do you want me to say? Like, they're going to win. I just like their tent poles will do well, be straight, and be strong.
Wow.
And their Universe Beyond sets will be the same way.
Okay, I'm going to get more wild with it. I think Standard makes a resurgence.
Nope.
I'm saying it into a microphone.
I disagree with that.
And maybe it's just something I wish would happen. There might be a good amount of that, but I think Standard makes a resurgence and we see a reduction in variance.
That's just your wishes. That's your wishes, dude.
Listen, hold on, boo boo.
You have zero evidence to back that up.
A, I said hold on, boo boo, and you did not hold on, boo boo. Second, I have evidence here. Okay, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast bring back Standard, their Standard sets are going to sell better. They'll still have a ton of Commander cards in them. Y'all Commander players are going to keep buying them at the same rate you're currently buying them. But guess what? Now you got a whole new group of people willing to buy those sets. Furthermore, the number of variants is clearly too damn high, and they can't be dumb enough to not realize it. They can't be dumb enough.
They added more variants on the first set.
That's just that. Listen, the first set of the year is always going to be rocky, and also not the first set. The first set of the year is Ravnica Remastered.
All right. My predictions. Ravnica Remastered is going to tank stupid hard. It's going to be that's the
lamest prediction.
It's going to be such a bad set. It's going to be the aftermath of the year. Nobody's going to buy it.
Disagree.
No. You're
going to hold true.
Hold on. Currently, worse. It is currently, as of the recording of this podcast, sold 300 boxes on TCG Player.
It doesn't surprise me. My hit of the year is the Fallout decks. I think that's
wow, bold takes. Wow, your bravery on this is stupendous.
Are you compensating for my wild predictions by making?
No, I'm just trying to do actual predictions. I think Fallout is going to bring more, like, it's going to do the same thing Lord of the Rings did, which is just like bring a stupid amount of people into the hobby.
Ooh, you think it's to be closer to the Lord of the Rings than it is to Doctor Who? Because both are good, both are successful, right?
Dude, Fallout is so.
It's massive. It's massive.
It's such a bigger IP than maybe I'm wrong. Every time I say something negative about Doctor Who, the comment section comes at me. So
every time you say something negative about Doctor Who, another 1,000 boxes sell.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I'm just wrong about that, but I think Fallout's going to be really good. Modern Horizons 3 is the question mark for me of the year. Like, how much Modern Horizons 3 do I order?
That could you tell a story where Wizards of the Coast, Modern Horizons 1 breaks Modern Horizons 2 completely destroys Modern Horizons 3, it's Baldur's Gate. Like
yeah,
everyone expects it to be good, really? And it flops.
That's my guess.
MH2 is the #1 selling set of all time, other than maybe Lord of the Rings now. Like, they're gonna lean into it hard.
They will. I don't think they're gonna do it. I think
they leaned into Baldur's Gate hard too. It just didn't go well.
I think it's gonna be weak.
Baldur's Gate just didn't have any power. Like, it had the dragons and then nothing else. Like, this will almost certainly have fetch lands.
Yeah,
like,
if they do Ragavan, so help me God. If they do Ragavan, they're dead.
They're not going to do Ragavan again.
Ragavan's essentially useless in Modern anyway.
Yeah,
it's a commander card now.
You know what I didn't know was happening that I missed? Josh, I'm surprised this isn't the only thing you ever talk about. Pioneer Masters.
What?
We completely missed this. Pioneer Masters Q4 2024.
On Arena or paper?
Paper.
Really? No, I didn't know.
According to mtgrocks.com, which is,
essentially Wizards.
Yeah, repeatable.
Yeah,
I missed that one.
I did not know that was a thing. This is the first I'm hearing of this, and probably shouldn't be.
No, you should really like that. You're a huge Pioneer fan.
I just ordered a brand new Pioneer deck so I can play a new one at MTG Chicago.
Just in time for them to reprint all the stuff in Q4 of 2024.
That's fine.
Good job, Josh. Nailed it.
Pioneer decks aren't that expensive. I spent like $215.
Well, and that's my point. Like, they have the Masters name on this, and like, what are they going to price it at? Like, there's not Pioneer cards that they can add into this that are like.
Pioneer's that really cool format where there's a lot of $10 to $18 cards, but there's, aside from Shieldred, what's your big, like, your Shieldred and your
think about Shieldred, that will certainly be a reprint.
Yeah, and your Eldrazi, like, what are you really looking at in Pioneer that's going to command that crazy value? I don't know. That better be priced like a standard set. I'm going to advise you. If it's not, I'm going to give you some store advice. Don't buy a ton.
I will not buy it. I'm not touching master sets.
What? Well, hold on. Don't miss though. Like,
no,
all the master sets before were great.
That's not true. That's not true.
Double Masters and Double Masters 2022 both
Masters
like
was a huge hit.
Double Masters 2022 was good.
So was Double Masters the first one.
But there's been some bad master sets in the past, and Commander Masters right back at it again. Ravnica remastered, Dominaria. I'm talking about Ravnica like it already failed.
That's not a master set. It's a remastered.
Also, the Dominaria remastered narrative is not fair. That did not die. It sold like crazy until it went to Amazon from Wizards of the Coast.
Josh, it sold below our distribution costs, like initially, like on release.
No, it did not. It did not.
I know it did because I opened up.
You did it wrong. I have the numbers. It did not.
You have the sales data of what the product sold for a year.
I have the monthly average cost of every product since its release. Yes.
Okay.
That is what I do, my friend.
Put in the comment section who's right.
We open
and you can prove who's right by using the affiliate code of the person you support.
We need to give George an affiliate code that upcharges people. If you use code George, it costs you an extra $1.25.
I mean,
last prediction. This is gonna be a good year. Like, the sets look super fun. Murders at Karlov Manor.
Now I'm anxious. I want you to know I had that same thought, but now I'm anxious.
How did I not bring this up? So there's a wild speculation in my store right now. Murders at Karlov Manor. The whole thing's like, who killed the person, and it's a murder mystery, whatever. Well, apparently they like teased out a photo that there's an Eldrazi in the manor, And we were all like, it's obviously the giant Eldrazi. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean it's the human over here? There's a giant death monster right there. That's who killed the person.
Also, this just leads to them not getting their in on their IP. They don't get it. What's the Eldrazi doing in the mansion?
Yeah. Yeah. Murders of Color Manor looks kind of cool. Oh, play boosters, like hit or miss. Play boosters 2024. End of 2024. Hit. Are we saying it's a hit or miss?
Hit.
He's just gonna go miss because we went hit.
I'm worried about the price.
No, he's been nervous about the price for a while.
I'm worried about the price.
Yeah,
I see what happens with a different card game. I'm not comparing the two, Louis. Relax. I've seen other card games like Pokemon that have raised the price more than the collector and player thinks that they're willing to pay for it. I'm gonna go miss. I'm gonna go miss. Wow. I think the price is gonna be a problem.
Oh.
The price is gonna be a problem.
Listen, the end of 2023 where George is the one negative on Magic in the podcast.
Nope. No. Like the problem is like it won't matter, right? Like the only person who will get hurt is stores. like they will still sell a ton of them.
Yeah.
But like I think they're gonna have to I think they're gonna have to build in something special to make up for the price increase that they have not considered yet.
They give you more packs.
Wait, you're saying they will do that?
They do. They are already.
Well, it's the same as a draft box right now.
Yeah,
the set box.
It's an increase.
No, it's the same as a draft box is a draft box number of packs with a set box price.
Price per pack. Yeah.
I think it's too much. I think it's too much. I think it's too much.
I don't.
I wish it was less. I don't like it being, initial price supposed to be around $148, $150, but I also think it's going to settle around the 120, 125 mark.
Do we know our cost yet?
Yeah. I think
it to me so I can see if I agree or not.
No, I'm not going to. I think 125 is going to be where it ends too. I think it's going to be fine.
Right. We've proven if it's too much, we won't pay for it.
Fail set of the year, Bloomburrow. That's my fail set of the year.
That's a theme that doesn't speak to me.
And it's wedged right after Assassin's Creed and Modern Horizons 3. Like those two sets are going to take a ton of wallet, and then Bloomburrow comes out. So.
Is Outlaws at Thunder Junction?
Dude, I actually think that set's going to be sick. I think that set's going to be awesome.
No, don't you dare. When we previewed that set, I said it was going to be awesome, and you hated on me.
I know.
Don't you dare.
On it.
Don't you take my thunder from down under, baby.
At 120, the store's like not breaking even.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? Like it's below our costs?
It's pretty close.
Yeah,
you can't sell online. You'll lose money.
Yeah, that's what Magic does. Though,
if you sell Magic on TCG Player for sealed boxes, you generally lose
Magic,
money.
George.
I think it's.
You live in this world where you get to sell everything in store.
I think it's gonna be a problem.
I think George lives in a world where when he sells it for a loss on TCG Player, it doesn't actually affect him because he's George and
he's never seen his own books.
Like, have y'all done a card? Do you guys have an arcade? My arcade's gone through a ton of sports cards.
I'm sure. Sports is goat.
I got those trick or trade things I just keep giving out like I'm an arcade machine. My nephews love those.
I opened
Pokemon.
George, you're going to laugh at me. I opened 24 holiday calendars this week. I had more open 24 holiday calendars. I don't know why I ordered so many. I ordered like 40 of them. Yeah. No, I missed that one. I don't know why. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well,
I think I probably did that stupid case thing. Like I'm on the phone with my reps.
I will say they get tricky with that sometimes.
Yeah,
they get tricky with that sometimes.
And I gotta like actually look at what's in a case. Like usually my kids are yelling around me. I'm just like, yeah, give me 3 cases, right? And it's like there's 6 in it. Anyway, all right, let's talk sorcery, baby. Everybody, link right now in the comment section.
Oh
sorcery segment.
You pumping that is the worst thing. That is worse than
hilarious. I think it's hilarious.
A weird sense of humor, dude.
It's fun.
It's called bad.
All right, so we're going to talk about the sorcery buyouts, and then we're also going to talk about our hopes for 2024 and what we think they need to change and what they need to keep doing right, and predictions for 2024. So buyouts. Somebody bought out on TCG Player 500 dual sites.
Welcome to Indie TCGs.
Let's say,
Welcome to Indies.
let's say,
Oh man. Whew.
can I,
At like $15, like lowest listed on TCG Player.
can I say, as far as indie TCGs go, and I say this as somebody who bought a ton of foil cards off TCG Player when a game was instantly available on the platform. I was a piece of scum that participated in some of this. Easily the worst part of indie TCGs. This whole thing is easily the worst part because you can listen. I'm a jamoke. I don't have a ton of money, and I can control the price of some of these things.
You control the price of sharks.
Yeah, well, I actually currently do, and that's kind of funny to me.
Well, that's the point. Is that like this is like the problem is
you're not controlling. Listen, dude, you're not controlling the price of sharks if a foil alpha shark is $70 right now on TCG Player. Controlling the price of an exceptional looks like the price is $2,500 on TCG Player right now. Trust me,
like,
I've had to buy an exceptional foil for way too high of price to finish my set.
I heard a content creator told me it was short printed.
No, listen, dude.
Like, this is the worst part of indies. I mean, like, it doesn't. Like, we've seen this happen. We've seen this attempted before, where like one or two people buy every box of a first edition box, right? They buy every first edition box in the market, artificially drive up the price. It starts mooning, going nuts, but then people have this very bad realization: there's nobody behind them.
There's nobody to sell it to.
There's nobody to sell it to.
Yeah.
So then the price starts to go down. Then you're like, and then it like craters.
So the problem right now in Sorcery is that there is people who are buying it and are interested in this stuff.
But like
the question right now, like,
5 minutes.
I agree that the 500 sites is kind of a wild one. Like, I don't know. Listen, the shenanigans are real. They are real right now.
Of course, it's an indie.
Yeah.
That's what indie TCGs do. They pump and dump on themselves, and somebody gets stuck with a hot potato.
This guy.
And this is coming from somebody who I like the game. I think the game will last.
Yes.
But this is what happens with indies. Like, it's like people turn everything into a hot potato and somebody gets stuck with it.
Yeah. I think the question is what does the actual collector market look like at this time next year? Like, are people still actively trying to pursue? Because every one of these alpha foils, Josh, just go with your giant shark. Let's say you buy all the giant sharks, you own 80% of the ones that have been pulled, and you eventually more do come to the market, right? And then you see the price memory, you get bored, you move on to the next thing that you're trying to pump, you put all your money into the second set or the third set, more come to the market, and then it ends up like the people who spent the money to get that foil shark end up the ones losing. And the question is, does that person actually care, or is that person just like, I finished my set, I'm holding it forever, it is what it is?
Is there a bit of a self-expose going on here?
This is fantasy land. Every game that goes up, everybody collects it for the art. I collected. I will never sell this. I will never get this. Is the set of all this is their last chance to buy this card, and it's the prettiest card in the world. Well,
that's not even the case. That's not even. They are literally, there's the foils that I've had to buy this week are just regular foils. There's nothing special about them other than people are claiming that they're short printed.
Every card is special, Louis,
and there's no evidence of it actually being short printed.
Sure,
listen, other than they don't exist.
This whole story is just straight out of the indie TCG playbook, bud.
This is 100%. I literally was talking to a guy when I was buying the card. I was like, look, man, I know I'm getting hosed, but I'm paying to be done. I'm paying to be done with this foil set. I'm paying for my life back so that I can move on and go do something else.
Louis is Thanos. He snapped half of his net worth away, and now he just wants to rest.
And this is where I agree with Rudy and what Sorcery is doing so far, which is don't print more boxes.
Yeah,
do not feed into this nonsense. This nonsense will go away in the next few months. Then it's time to assess where the market is. This is games. This is not real. This is normal indie garbage, and don't feed into it.
Well, and for people who are trying to complete sets and do the opposite of me, where it's like you have a long time, more stuff always comes to market.
Yeah.
The prime example was the smokestacks at and I'm so glad we edited this. I didn't even tell you guys we edited this out of the podcast. But smokestacks of Knock in beta, when beta first released, the first couple weeks, everybody was talking about how they short printed this card, and I mentioned it, and I ended up not feeling comfortable leaving it in because I didn't want to like false information. And it turns out to be true. All these smokestacks of Knock are being pulled in like overseas, like they just got clumped in boxes that went to another country, and now
Shout out to Romania.
Now all of a sudden they're all entering the market because and at the time everyone was like, oh, they're short printed, they're impossible to find, they're never gonna hear. And like if you just wait, like stuff pops up.
And like again, like just don't like if you're a consumer, there will be cards available next year.
Yeah.
There is no need to rush during the height of the frenzy.
Yep.
Like
really,
we all knew this was coming. Like this has entered funny stage, and like just like enjoy the ride. If you have sorcery, enjoy the ride. Sell if you want to sell, hold if you want to hold, buy if you want to buy. But like
buy things that you love.
Enjoy the ride. And though like every single indie TCG has cratered eventually.
Yeah. They all go up, they all come down, they all settle somewhere in the middle.
That does not mean you should not enjoy the game. That does not mean you shouldn't collect the game. That doesn't mean you shouldn't overpay for cards. I don't care what you pay for cards. If you want to spend $10 million in your sorcery set, God bless.
And we will not make fun of you for the amount that you spend on sorcery cards.
Yeah, incorrect. But like what it does
Unless
mean,
what
it does mean is that like just know that like we've on this podcast have seen this movie quite a few times, and I suspect we'll see this movie again.
So
this is a rerun.
The good thing, in my opinion, with what's happening right now is that the only thing people are really buying up, other than like the dual lands is a little weird one, but the only thing people are really buying up is like they're trying, like when I posted my list of cards that I was looking for, it was amazing to see how fast some of them got picked up on eBay. Like I posted my list and like people saw the cards that I was looking for and bought the ones that I was like I had watched on eBay, but I didn't want to buy because I wanted to trade other cards for. Like I regretted posting the list because as soon as I posted it, all the ones that I was watching like disappeared off of eBay because they knew that I was
being the number one sorcery content creator.
It's not even just me. It's just like when people like, I don't know. Anyway, so but the win is that like playable cards aren't the things that are getting scooped up, and so it's still accessible for players. I think that's a win. But all right, 2024.
The angle sorcery staking helps with that too. That's not all high powered competitive decks either, right? You can play casually.
2024 prediction time.
Predictions and maybe like what do you want to see or what you're excited about.
Oh my god, this is such bad content. I felt like someone has to do it this time.
They're going to be the first indie not to give in to the bullshit, and they're going to not overprint.
Like it.
I'm gonna Simon, I know you're a listener. Don't let me down, buddy. Don't let me down, buddy. They're gonna be the first one to be like that. They're gonna be the first ones to understand printing, throwing money into a hurricane doesn't actually tell you what the market is.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna figure this out, and they're gonna not overprint, and they're gonna give us all a small reprint Q1 of next year. It's going to be 10 to 15% of what we got in the first wave, and they're not going to go nuts.
Man, in order for them to do that, they'd have to listen to me. That's crazy.
All right, that is my one big fear. That
that's exactly what I said they should do.
I would honestly like. I'm not even sure it should be Q1 if I'm being honest. Like, and not after this garbage. Like, let it be Q2?
Does it depend on when the release of Arthurian Legends is? I feel like that matters.
I mean, it's not Arthurian Legends. Not going to be Q1 or Q2.
What did I speculate that one week that I heard a rumor about?
We can't keep up.
I love how you're like some random guy emailed me. It's a rumor.
No, it wasn't a random guy. It was somebody who might know. Anyway, I think one of the things that matters with that is in the interview with Simon and Eric that they just put out, they talked about Arthurian Legends being so focused on being a draftable set, like something like that's the limited experience is something they're really excited about with that. And I think one of the things that means is that creating a constructed deck out of just Arthurian Legends cards will probably go pretty well. In other words, like you won't necessarily need the base set like alpha beta cards in order to be like able to build a constructed deck. I'm sure some of the cards would be good and it would be helpful and whatever, but I don't think it's going to be one of those things where like there's a massive staple of the game that you have to include into your deck that's only available in alpha and beta. And so I think that's a good sign and a good win. I hope that's kind of what happens with Arthurian Legends.
All right, but got another prediction. You ready for this?
Yep.
You're gonna like this one. They come to their senses and make Kitchen Table the other place you can buy boxes at retail for Arthurian Legends.
Wow.
That would be wild.
And Kitchen Table gets a promo.
Is it a pirate?
Do I have to pay you for this?
It's gonna be if it's a pirate, I'm buying a box. If it's a pirate, I'm buying a box.
Hold on. If my addition to this podcast gets you a promo in a game, you're signing the thing and sending it to me.
No,
you're doing it. I will come take your foil.
I do not want a promo. I do not want my face in the game, please.
It worked well before. It'll work well again.
Only up, baby.
That's my big prediction: is that they will come to their senses and I think they will still
come to their senses.
Yeah.
Dude,
you are the number one.
How do you make things sound so offensive when you're being kind?
That's my skill. It's a gift. It's a gift.
Wow, it is. That's a glass shattering moment for me. You do that a lot.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I'd be in on that.
Shocking. You'd be in on free
Wow.
Wow. That's a bold stance, Louis. I'm sure they appreciate that.
Your predictions this podcast have been one to just hang on bated breath for.
Oh man.
Here we go, boo boo. I got something for you. I think just with Eric's background, they spend the year, and throughout this year, they refined their process. They talked a lot in that interview about how their process takes so much time, and they want this to be, they're open to more releases, but they want to figure out kind of their process. I think they refine that process, and they finally drop the only aspect of this game that scares me, the one release a year. And it's ramped up. And I'm not saying there's multiple releases this year. I'm saying they make that decision and that announcement comes in 2024.
Yeah, listen, they were pretty intentional about saying like we are evaluating that. We understand it. Like
it doesn't work.
That interview was so well done. It gave me a lot of confidence in the team just hearing them back and forth in their talk. And they have such a funny like
every time Simon talks, I get confidence in the team.
And Eric and Simon, you can tell like they've really only worked together via Skype, and like they're in two different countries. And so their like interactions together, it's just, I don't know, it's funny. Yeah. No, I think that'd be cool. That'd be really good.
And if it's truly process holding them back, like Eric seems to really know his stuff. He seemed very clear and clean in the interview, and just knowing his background and having spoken with Simon and, kind of getting a gauge of his abilities just based on that conversation. If they're able to fine tune that process, I can't imagine a world where we still have it's one release a year. Like, I don't buy it. Not selling me. You can sell me more sharks. But you're not selling me on that statement.
Predictions, or we want wild prediction? You want to go like ludicrous speed prediction?
Wait, hold on. Its whole thing was one set a year. I said this is the year that all crumbles, and that's not a wild prediction.
I don't think that's their whole thing.
Yeah, Josh, why do you make things that are positive sound so negative?
Because that's my gift. Louis. That's my gift on this channel.
I think that by the end of 2024, we see some form of discussion on a digital client. Not saying that they come out with that or that they announce that or release that, but I think that will become part of the discussion about what's the future of Sorcery.
Every game will have to have an online game. I'm totally convinced of that.
And here's why I feel that way. Eric's connections in the video game world are too strong for that to not be a consideration. And I think what they're gonna learn is that they can have the revenue that they can create from an online client, they can have a collectible, highly collectible, short print run, that type of thing game on tabletop, and then they can really grow in a wide way without risking a lot of what they have, right? Like by making more boxes, they are risking not having the people to buy the boxes, but by having an online client and the growth of the game rapidly growing. I think that can do a lot of stuff for the game. I'm not saying 2024, 2025, maybe like, I mean, a game like that at the scale for Sorcery probably takes to 2026, 2027, like that kind of time frame to be good. And then they're going to want it to be good. But I think that starts being part of the dialogue, at least in my opinion.
All these indies are going to eventually realize they don't have the density outside of a few population hubs to support gameplay in a meaningful way.
Bingo.
Like, I mean, outside of like New York, Chicago, maybe Austin. There's like a wild indie TCG scene in Austin.
Huge.
Colorado,
LA.
surprisingly.
LA, Orlando.
Colorado's surprisingly big.
I don't know if we've really talked about that as much on the podcast as maybe we should have previous, but like that is what I'm hearing about with One Piece. That's what I'm hearing about with a lot of the other indie TCGs and that kind of stuff.
One Piece, not an indie TCG.
I said other indie TCGs. We are in the Sorcery segment. That's what the other was referring to. But that, like, for One Piece, the vast see how I dodged that?
No, you said it after you said One Piece, but live your truth, King.
The success in LA, the success in the big cities is massive, but everywhere I'm hearing about, and I'm having this experience too, like when you're a rural area, it's just impossible. Like it's so hard to create a community. That's why Magic just owns the large sum of numbers of LGSs. But
the problem is, like, you could walk into any LGS in the country and play a game of Magic right now. That's the problem, right? That's the problem every indie TCG has, is you never have to worry about, oh God, is so-and-so at the shop? Is so-and-so there?
Yeah.
You can grab your deck, head to the game store, and like, boom, they're ready for a game.
Well, and here's the harsh truth of the matter is it's going to happen. If your community grows to a certain size, but still too small to where it can't, the webs don't quite connect. You've got talented enough people, you're going to get an unsupported online client somewhere. And I've made videos about this with other indie TCGs. They need to be buying those clients immediately because it's one of the few things keeping their community strong. And it was like, well, it sells less boxes. Yeah, you're maybe right. Maybe you're getting less paper games, but you know what you are getting? You're getting reach. You're getting community. You're getting people exposure. You're getting people willing to get out and play these games, and you might as well lean into it because it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Like, could you guys see a company like Sorcery outsourcing a game like that, the license or like the mechanics or whatever, to a company that is able to follow through on a high quality product?
Yeah, I don't think Sorcery is gonna build out a game dev team. And
this is where Eric will shine, right? Eric will be able to figure out who's the best at doing that.
Yes,
and go from there.
And that's an area where if you want to talk about Sorcery starting to vault some indie TCGs, that's their advantage, right? That's home base. That's an area where now this client is so alluring and so much fun. You're just tempting people based on the play experience.
Well, and it's perfect. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen, like, I hate playing on TTS, but I love watching on
But you
TTS.
don't have a choice
well, but because you get to see the artwork bigger. That's what I was gonna say. Like when I play on the table, it's like the artwork's cool, but you don't really get to fully like immerse. Like when I play, it's like you get to see different parts of I don't know. I just think
you lean into the arena aspect where when you put cards down, there's animations and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you lean into that, and you can do that probably more with Sorcery, where the art is shining and jumping, and the characters are moving. But
maybe I'm crazy.
That's not as big of a deal to me as the connections you're able to create from these pocketed communities.
Yeah. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think I think that would be a good win for the game. But any other predictions?
I think so too. You do have to balance it though, right? You can't make it so nobody buys your product anymore.
Oh, I don't
think it does that. I don't think it does that either. But there is a world where you lose a number of
way to monetize the games. This isn't hard.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just telling you that you have to find a balance.
But yeah, and I think I believe in their ability to do something.
Oh, yeah.
The question is, how much does it cost to create a game that way, and how long does it take to get your return on investment and that kind of thing? And does that make sense for? But
it almost never does.
Yeah,
it almost never will right now. But at their scale, it's more of a. It's not like a return on investment thing. It's a needed hurdle in 2023 that it seems like you have to achieve.
Last question about Sorcery predicting 2024 in 1 year. What is the price of an alpha booster box?
$10K.
What's the price of an alpha booster box right now?
I'm looking up the last sold. I should probably add sorcery, huh? That's the first thing that pops up.
I wonder why that is.
Between $1,250 and $1,400.
George, you want to hit it first? Because
10K.
No, what's your actual? Don't pretend to be over. Like I'm actually like honest. I'll give my first take. How about that? I'll give mine first shot. 2,800.
Oh, what a coward! What a coward!
I wanted you to say 10K really bad. I'll be real. 10K. I think it's gonna stay near the top of that range.
1 year from today.
Yep.
800.
Wow.
Yep. I think that's a better take than 28K.
Wow! A game that's been out for a year would be worth $800 is insulting.
At that point, it's 2 years.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Wow, are you kidding me? That is still more than like
this is why people think podcasts like this are scripted. This is the same script. We've all been over the script. We know the price. You still say 2,800 into a microphone, and you know the result of this scenario.
What?
Wait, they don't go to the moon forever exponentially until they die. Like that's not how that works.
Going to the moon forever, though.
Doubling the cost of the alpha box, doubling in a year from its highest point that you just gave us a range of 12 to 1,400, and you took the top and you doubled it. That's not what is going to the moon to you.
10K. That's going to the moon to me.
I'm in.
That is an unrealistic.
You're right. That's a higher number.
That's an unrealistic statement.
Would you say 100K is going to the moon too, or is that different?
No, that's Mars. That's Elon Musk.
Mars, big.
That's Elon Musk.
ARS.
He gets
Red Rocks.
That's Musk tweets about sorcery on Twitter, on X. I don't know. We'll see.
And these are so hard to discuss with you when you like them.
Why?
What do you think a box of Kickstarter Cryptic is next year? This time next year.
And will you pay what you're about to say for mine?
No. $25.
That's about my guess.
You didn't say MetaZoo.
All right, move on to the next topic. I gotta take a quick little break. George's One Piece. George, tell us what it is.
I'm in. So there's a wild rumor, a speculation, if you will, Josh.
Oh, I'm in.
Yes, that OP1, the first One Piece set. The fuck was that noise? Will be reprinted in March.
That was me blowing my nose off camera, muted. Nobody else heard it other than you two.
I'm in.
Don't you do that to my boy. I just got it.
Did you buy how much did you pay for that?
I just got it. I traded 4 boxes of Floodborne.
Oh, bad trade.
You think?
Bad trade.
I have a lot.
We're going opposite directions next year.
I have a lot of Floodborne. You think it's going to get reprinted?
Yes. Bandai will reprint. That is my that is my hot take. That is my hot take. Bandai will reprint boxes.
Where's that coming from? Where's that source? Some
anonymous guy emailed it to me in a smoke signal. But it's somebody who I think knows. I don't remember where I read it. I mean, like, Louis, they're gonna reprint boxes. It's what they do.
We'll see.
You think they're gonna reprint?
Hold on. Hold on. Bandai. If they were like, they're going to reprint this game, this is the one time in the history.
They haven't come out and said that.
They never say they're going to reprint. They've reprinted everything. They've reprinted just one
box. But there's been multiple. There's been waves of OP1 already.
Right. So why do you think they would stop now?
Because they have to print other stuff. Like they can just
printed 3, didn't they? Like a month ago?
No, it was longer than that.
How long ago?
3. They reprinted 2 a little bit ago too.
Yeah. But they're not going to reprint 1.
This is sounding a lot like
they can't keep up with the demand of the new sets already. Like they're already. Yes, it does, because they have print time. They have to put out new sets. Listen, I don't actually care. I have 1 box. I have no actual skin in this game. I have 1 box. I just wanted it because it would seem like
Let's
a fun
go.
trade.
It did officially pass the 10,000 boxes OP5 sold on TCG Player.
I think because they have they have more sets coming out, they're not going to be able to dip back into that. But that's my opinion.
You had the same opinion about Lorcana, though.
What are your predictions for Uno piece in
What the
2024?
price is?
No. Like, what do you think? How do you think they're going to be doing next year? Like, what do you think's cooking?
What does One Piece look like for 2024?
So everyone I talk to talks about set 7 is going to have a ton of stuff for the yellow, which is OP4 box, has a bunch of yellow mechanics.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
Yeah.
That seems to be one of the things.
Who told you that?
Joey, the guy who ships and plays One Piece. So.
Who do you think you heard it from?
Let's call it. I think it's going to be a very stable year for One Piece.
I wouldn't go that far.
You know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. One Piece will have a great year next year. They're not going to.
What does that mean?
They're not going to crater.
Do you think that they print to? So this is the problem with One Piece right now. I'm doing what I shouldn't do, which is like I just ordered 400 boxes of OP7 because every time I order, I get completely like allocated to the bone.
Right.
So like I'm intentionally ordering way too much and being like, well, if I get it all, whatever. The problem is if I get it all, that means that everybody else got it all too. And it's all going to zero because again, we talked about this with, I don't remember what game we were talking about last week. Like as soon as everybody has it or can get it, nobody wants as much as
Simon's interview that he said that.
Yeah, that's her. And so the question is, do they capitalize?
No, I think Bandai is gonna not mess this one up. That's my hot take. And that's my actual hot take this year. Bandai is gonna nail this one.
Really?
I think Bandai is going to. This is such an incredible cash cow.
Yeah.
That like I just think I think they want to like really not blow this one.
I think the demand increases because of the Netflix show as well.
So that's a big boost they're going to get for sure.
They're remaking the anime, and I think that's going to go a long way. And yeah, I think it'll be a good year. I'm all in on it, so I'm biased.
I'll 100%. I'll stand on the other side of that fence and say Bandai is going to Bandai this year. And I know One Piece does feel different. It feels different than other Bandai games. I'm 100% on board, but A, it's boring content for all of us just to be on the same side of something. And B, I truly believe like sooner or later they're going to show their colors, right? Soon they don't have 15 games that have released and since died for no reason.
I can't think of a game that's been this successful for them though.
They also
Dragon Ball came out and was crazy,
but they seem to have found their niche now. Like their niche is like these quick games.
Yeah,
like that is I think I get you. That is I think what they've cracked.
Maybe I just never got hit with the Dragon Ball.
I think we weren't
in the store yet.
Yeah, we weren't as in it as we were or as we are now. But like, we were still happy, Louis. We were still. Was it?
Okay.
We were still happy.
I never heard anything about Dragon Ball Super. Maybe I was just too into other stuff, but
shout out. Could have been behind Dragon Ball.
Oh man. Yeah. I don't know about that one.
6 to 1, half a dozen another.
Complicated.
I don't think Dragon Ball would have banned Rudy, but all right. We're done with One Piece.
Welcome to the club, Rudy. Welcome to the club, baby.
Welcome, baby.
Sit on my lap. I'll tell you a story.
The George was right section of the pod where the one guy in the comment section will say something.
There you go. All right. George's One Piece wrapped up.
You couldn't have made that title worse.
That's what we do every week.
Every week.
Yeah, every week it's George. Where have you been?
No.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast.
Did nobody? I'm aware of the George's One Piece. What else did you say? How'd you end that segment?
I don't remember.
Okay, great.
Wrapped up.
There you go. Got there.
That's funny.
Thank you. It was
It's good.
Thank you.
Good. All right. Speaking of wrapping it up, are we thinking Lorcana dies this year or what?
Only you.
I'm not.
Buddy.
People won't buy Lorcana from my store. All I do is tell people how much it sucks and couldn't play it and it's going to zero.
That's how you started with Magic.
That's not what I say. I say my patrons aren't buying Lorcana. That's what I've said.
All you do is talk about how you think it sucks, how it's going to zero, and how it will die.
I don't say that. That has not been my take. I just wouldn't say that it was a wild success. That's what I didn't say.
So, George, I got Scoopies for you, bud.
I'm in.
We are almost at more sales in December than release month.
Wow.
On TCG Player.
Wait till January.
For the first chapter.
That's crazy.
We have almost sold more boxes than they did the month of release.
That's impressive.
It's crazy.
I mean, like, it is weirdly becoming a player's game. Like, that is what that tells you. Like, this is becoming a player's game.
So it was like just flippers in the beginning, and now it's skipping the collectors and it's going to players. Is that what you're saying?
Like, players are who's buying this now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, players are buying this now.
My daughter, so for Christmas, my oldest daughter got a Pokemon pack on every present, and my youngest daughter is a huge Mickey
Just from the Christmas, from the advent calendar. You're like,
I actually
every day you get a new pack of the stupid calendar.
I actually forgot to grab them from the shop, so I had to use 151.
Those fun packs, whatever they were called, are the worst thing anybody's ever invented.
Terrible. Not fun.
Here's a pack in which
Terrible
you're guaranteed to have worthless cards.
Here's a pack to have no fun. Let's call it a fun pack. Let's give it to the kids. They don't deserve the real cards. Anyway,
Pokemon.
My youngest daughter is a huge Mickey fan, and so I gave her a Lorcana pack, and she pulled the Mickey Mouse Enchanted. So
that's awesome.
I grabbed it out of her hands, gave her a common Mickey Mouse. She took the trade, and I sold it.
Way to rip off your kid.
Yeah. What does my 2-year-old need with $120
card? You could have put that in the vault, and it would have been worth you could have paid for her college by the time she's ready.
You've come a long way. You knew what it was this time when she opened.
West Virginia University can't be that expensive.
She's got Pokemon cards for that.
How's that going?
So she's going to community college.
I'm all in on Pokemon.
How's that going?
Yeah, it's going. It'll be great.
It'll
be great.
I mean, like, Lorcana is doing what I thought Lorcana was going to do. Like, it's big. Like, it is competing.
This is way more successful than I thought Lorcana was going to be.
100%. And this is, we talked about this a couple times. This is where Lorcana, in my opinion, like, I said to you guys that Lorcana, that it didn't matter. Like, the Sorcery versus Lorcana debate, I thought was ridiculous early in this year on the podcast. I just thought, why are we doing this? Because I saw Lorcana has to compete with Magic and Pokemon.
I must say, that was not the way it came across to at least me in the beginning of the year. Before
you were
Lorcana
very
released.
Aggressive on the Sorcery.
That was not how
that for someone who didn't believe in the debate.
Yeah, that was not how it came across to those on the podcast.
And also, this is still something I don't understand. Whether it's a small manufacturer or a big manufacturer, they all manufacture the same thing. They are competing with one another.
I disagree with that.
I don't think that matters. Like, here's what matters is that, like, at the end of the day, the world's biggest IP is now making a TCG.
For now. You could tell me a story where Disney is finicky with this and it doesn't matter to them. And they say we're cutting ties with this.
God, I love it when Josh is all of a sudden negative on Lorcana. It's my favorite.
No, listen, this is a big deal for us in TCGs, but we've talked about how WotC makes nothing compared to like real giant companies, and Disney is a real giant company. Yeah. You could tell me a story where Disney's like, this is more hassle than it's worse for us. Cut it from our.
How much hassle is it for Disney?
I don't know what the process is. I don't know.
I'm sure it's just a license.
It's not going to die because of the community interest right now. We're not there. The set is selling like hotcakes. It's amazing. Yeah. But you just tell me a story where Disney's like, we're just not interested in that anymore.
No, Bob Iger wouldn't do that to me. Bob gets it. Gave me back the divvy.
I think it'll be interesting to see where Lorcana is once like everybody has the cards they need. Like, that's something I've noticed in my local community. Like, nobody was really opening chapter 1 right now because they all got their chapter 1 cards. And like, will they continue to reprint? Will we see another massive wave of chapter 1, that kind of stuff?
Yes.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't think the market can handle another wave the size of the last.
That is where they need to be careful. Like, I think I'm going to give them props. Like I gave Sorcery props. They nailed.
Yeah, I agree with this
print run.
Yep,
for this.
Well, eventually.
Right now, they nailed it.
Eventually.
Well, I mean, like, yeah. I mean, they nailed the reprint.
Yeah.
Eventually.
That's why. Yes, that's why it's a reprint, not the original print. Reprint.
Well, they missed
and like they nailed it. They hit the exact right number. Now it's important to chill out.
So,
Start Britain set 3, and we'll get back to set 1 and 2 a little bit later.
so my rep asked me how much set 3 I wanted to get.
This is the hard one.
I was like,
This is
I
the
don't
hard
know, man.
one.
If I ask for 400,
for.
am I going to get 400 or am I going to get 40? Because, like,
This is the hard one.
If everyone's going to get 400, I'm out. Yeah, I don't know.
Set 3,
I ended up
wild
asking for
card.
40.
I love it. I love it.
I played it safe.
Did you really?
I asked for 40.
I want the opposite.
I still have one rep to ask for, and I'll get more boxes from him.
I threw them bones.
Yeah. The problem
How much
is like,
Pokemon you take?
oh, I've lowered my Pokemon quite a bit.
No, George, to get out extra Lorcana. How much
I'm
Pokemon
not
you take?
taking. I am done taking Pokemon to get other product. I cannot hold any more Pokemon.
God.
I only deal with live TCGs.
Can't wait to talk about MetaZoo next.
I'll be like, do you have Genesis? I'll take that.
And they're
I
like,
do. I
yeah,
have a
we do.
box. I throw
They're
her
like,
in the
yeah, we
office
do.
with a
It's our
box.
newest game.
Like, never mind. Actually, where's that Pokemon at? Do
Um,
you have a Charizard?
there's still really weird things with Lorcana, which like they're reprinting every accessory other than playmats.
I think that is easily the wildest thing ever.
Like, what
That is
store
the
wants more
wildest
deck
thing in
or
TCGs this year.
the absolute worst sleeves that have ever been created,
Ever.
including
Ever.
the MetaZoo sleeves and spellbooks. The absolute worst sleeves.
Ever.
Partner with a sleeve manufacturer. What are we doing?
And then they have the 4-sleeve like portfolio. Who
Yeah,
asked for
they're
this?
reprinting
Like,
that.
Who wants what is going on? They're like, how many do you want? I'm like, none. Like, I have like
That's the
I
only.
probably-
That's the only Lorcana product from the initial allocation that I didn't sell.
I probably have 200 at the store.
Yeah, what do you need with those?
That's crazy.
Like, what do you? Come on, man.
Meanwhile, you can get playmats made for like 20 cents. They don't
Like,
exist.
I will say that. Where are the playmats, Lorcana? Like, that's what we like. They have the dopest playmats, and they don't make them.
They do have pretty cool playmats.
I want more Winnie the Pooh playmat because that's the best playmat ever made.
That's pretty cool.
That's a pretty cool playmat. I
All
don't
right, so
know.
What do we think? So, all right, Louie, here we go, big guy.
Let's do it, baby.
What's the price of set 1 this time next year?
So this is where it's different than sorcery. And Josh, this is where I think that like what you don't calculate into
You're wrong, bozo.
Yeah.
is
I'll say
that
it for you,
the,
Louie.
the people who are buying the collectors in sorcery collect because they know that there's a finite amount of boxes. So like there's not going to be more alpha boxes printed. And this is where Lorcana, like it's a different group of people. Lorcana, the question is like, how many times will they reprint by the end of the year next year? I think that they will initially make a mistake. I think that they will do a big wave at the early 2024, but they have shown that they learn from their mistakes
Because they're
and they won't do another print. And I think the market will absorb over the year. So I think we see a dip down into the like $100-$110 range, maybe a little bit less than that. But then I think it slowly comes back. I think we'll see boxes around MSRP at the end of the year next year.
I hear what you're saying, but the frustrating thing is you talk about this at scale. Like, well, it's just because the people buying Alpha Sorcery at that price, they know that. You know everyone buying Alpha Sorcery in meaningful numbers at that price. You all know each other's names at this point. It's not a large group of people. And as people fall out of that group of people, no new people don't come in. In large, massive communities like something like Lorcana, people will come in. Now, I agree. A Sorcery Alpha box is far more collectible at the end of 2024 than a first chapter booster box. It's not even going to be close.
Right.
But like that's just such a bad comparison to me. The 6 guys buying Sorcery boxes at $1,400. Like
that's why I'm saying it's a bad. Like I'm saying it's a bad comparison. That's what the point was that it's not the right thing to compare, that they're two different markets. They're two different groups of people. And you're saying that the two products are the same.
No, I'm not saying the two products are the same. I'm saying the two products are in the same category. They're 2 video games. They're 2 video games, and they happen to both be 2 first-person shooter video games as well. They're competing.
Why is that?
because they're TCGs. There's a finite number of TCGs, and there's a finite number of humans who care about cardboard in their hands.
Yeah, see, I
number roughly 0. Continue.
Yeah, that's fair.
Roughly 0. Anyway, I think one of them is a shooter game, and the other one is a
I tried
Pokemon game.
Oh, so nobody cares about that one. That follows.
So which one's the Pokemon game?
Lorcana.
Okay, so that one is the GOAT then.
Sure, you got it, baby.
Hold on, I don't got it, baby. That's what you told me.
Lorcana's the GOAT. Okay,
did you change your background?
This one?
You got to get it to stop.
It's always changing.
You got to get it to stop stopping.
Nope.
How it like goes black? Can you?
No, I can't fix that. I mean, I'm sure I could, but I'm not gonna put the time into.
I gotcha. make it like a 6-hour loop. So like the odds are you'll never.
It's a 25-minute loop, so it's long enough for my videos, unless I start like at
time.
Yeah.
But,
do you ever restart a video because you notice it go black in the middle?
No,
I wouldn't either.
No, he does not.
I wouldn't either.
No, he does not. I answered that for you.
I don't restart a video when I like mumble over something.
Yeah.
Like,
same. Welcome to content, baby.
The only videos that matter on my channel anymore are the shorts.
Yes, the card, win the card.
All right, George, predictions on price.
That sounds about right. MSRP.
Josh,
I think in 3 years it'll be very different.
Eventually they'll have the problem you're talking about with One Piece, right? 4 sets a year, exponential years down the road.
I think
they won't be able to.
Way overstated.
Well, it's way they'll be able to do like small reprints, but they won't be able to do big.
Money solves that problem.
Waves.
Yeah, but
money solves that problem.
From their perspective, they have to give the demand for the boxes will be less. Like the demand for the boxes will be less at the volume, and they're better off putting the single cards in their new set, like reprinting a card.
Reprinting the card.
That's why Magic doesn't reprint. Like I don't understand why aren't we having the conversation of will Magic reprint Innistrad, a $600 booster box,
or like Ravnica? Oh, wait a minute.
But it's a different. I don't think you understand what Ravnica Remastered is, George.
No.
Yeah, I don't think you get it.
I don't think you ever claimed to though. So like, no, in fairness,
like it's not like you got me.
I'm with you, Louis, but I don't think you ever told us.
What? What are they doing?
No, it's a plain Ravnica. They've been there 100 times.
That's not the whole Ravnica set.
No, God, it's so hard doing a podcast with you.
Then what's the point of the set?
To be a master set.
No.
So wait, so what's in the box?
It's not
all the best cards from all of the Ravnica sets.
Also no.
That's lame. Boo.
You all are the worst.
I thought it was like I thought we were printing Ravnica.
No. Josh, what's the value of?
Would that be better, do you think, or worse?
Way worse. Josh, what's the value of a Lorcana set 1 box at the end of the year next year?
End of 2024. I think it's above MSRP, but probably not by much.
Okay.
Probably $200 at a cap.
How cheap is Floodborne?
Probably MSRP.
I'm going the opposite. They're not going to reprint Floodborne.
No, they said they were going to.
George hates Floodborne.
They said, so Floodborne, bad set.
Yeah.
By all accounts, not a great, meaningful, impactful set. Not super collectible. No. Bad set. But they said they're going to keep reprinting it. So.
The third set's going to be bananas with locations. Third set's going to go nuts.
Anytime you put any kind of wrinkle, the community will give it a shot. They'll try it out.
Locations are going to be big.
Yeah.
Locations are going to be big, like are going to be a big change to gameplay.
You know what they say, dude? Location, location, location.
Look at me knowing stuff about the card games, by the way. Look at me.
Super proud of you.
You can't relive the Ravnica thing, man.
Yeah. That was.
Talk about that. It's magic. Who cares?
Right, let's move on. Last thing to chat about is MetaZoo.
Rudy.
MetaZoo was pretty rough.
Rudy was rough on every ending.
It's nice to see Rudy speaking some truth.
Disagree. Rudy was finally honest.
Yes.
About every indie TCG.
Yeah.
Wow. Calling out Rudy.
The only time when I felt like he missed the complete mark is when he started blaming everybody for things and he didn't include Channel Fireball in the names. He was like, everyone wants to blame a store, everybody wants to blame eBay, everybody wants to blame TCG player.
With Channel Fireball,
never said Channel
doesn't
Fireball.
Exist anymore is my favorite thing.
Thank God they don't exist anymore.
And he's right, George. His cause is just here.
Yeah.
They're dead. They moved. They sold. Like, what do you want?
My favorite Channel Fireball. Did you guys know this? Like, it was after I may have been right before. I was very negative on Channel Fireball, and they reached out and asked me if like they could, like, they wanted me to sponsor.
I told you to do it. We were friends.
Yeah. And I responded to them. I was like, have you watched my content and what I say about you guys? And they were like, yeah, but like you get a lot of views and it's still pretty good for us. I was like, I don't think I can do this.
I said, do it. I said, take the cash, baby.
Yeah, I did not take the cash. I should have taken the cash.
I said, do it and keep being yourself. Don't change who you are, but just take the cash and keep doing it.
Hindsight, I should have taken the money. Anyway, MetaZoo 2025. How's it going? How does 2024 go for MetaZoo? I agree with Rudy. I'll start. I don't understand why anybody would order MetaZoo product at this point. It seems like the base of MetaZoo has, like, it's not what we thought it was 3 years ago. They evolved into something that, like, the average consumer who cared about it 3 years ago, like, doesn't care about it anymore.
So Mike basically said they have to start from, like, basically zero. And, like, I think he's right. Like, they're gonna have to start from, like, basically going back to LGSs, going door to door. Like, they have to start small again.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
Breast Monkey, dude.
What is it?
What?
Breast Monkey. We've already been over that.
Breast Monkey.
We've done this on the podcast.
No, we haven't.
Yes,
we have not.
I have not done this on the podcast. I've been on. I, unlike you two, have been on every episode of this podcast.
I'm only on episodes when you tell me the correct time. Then I'm here.
No, don't you do that.
He said that follows. No takesies backsies. He said that follows. No takesies backsies. He said that follows. No takesies backsies.
Wait, is Brass Monkey related to the Brass Man's Will?
Yes.
That's true.
Which is why it's also so cheap. The box is out of reach and my neck hurts. This icy hot patch is wearing off.
What's a Brass Monkey?
It's orange juice and malt liquor.
Oh God!
That's disgusting.
That's
gross.
Disgusting.
It's not. It's great.
That's nasty.
All right.
What's the catalyst for MetaZoo to grow in 2024?
Well, okay. I mean, go ahead, George.
If it's gonna grow, it's gonna so somebody asked me what it would take for Cryptic to grow, and I said it's gonna be ugly. You're gonna print very, very, very few boxes, and you're gonna sell out.
Yeah.
And you're gonna hope the next time you print a few more, and you hope the time after that you print a few more.
Right.
Like it's like this. Like this is the hard part of TCGs.
And I think Cryptic could do that because they've got like one staff member. I don't think MetaZoo can do that. Like I think MetaZoo reached for the sun, they got burned, and like there's nothing. Once you get that big, like once you grow as a company and you add employees and you add systems, like we were talking about with Sorcery, right? Like they're getting their systems in and whatever. If you miss the mark, you fall further, and like getting back up, man.
It's hard. It's hard. You have to do it though. You have to do it or fold. Those are the two options.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards like they had their shot in the sun.
Yeah, and this is where it's hard because like as someone who's moved on from certain indie TCGs and stuff, it's not a fun conversation. There's like for people that love MetaZoo, and this is where I focus so much on fighting back against you guys. I often forget that there's people that they love this stuff, man.
Yeah,
they put their soul into this stuff. They're passionate, just like I am about Magic. They're passionate about MetaZoo, but my honest feeling is this is
like I am about Magic.
That is there, and it's over. I think it doesn't make it through the year, and I don't say that with happiness. I don't say that with excitement. I honestly don't see a path forward for MetaZoo.
So I think
path forward. The question is, they want to do it. They're at the fork in the road.
I think there is a path forward, and that's somebody buys MetaZoo.
And that could happen. That would be shocking.
I think that's the best case scenario if you're a fan of MetaZoo. I think that's the thing I think that's what you're hoping for, is that some company that can absorb MetaZoo and use the.
And we're talking about the TCG. If you want to talk stories, video games, whatever, sure, you could tell me that story.
I'm talking about everything. I'm saying like they can
buy the company.
They buy the company and they can put the resources into it over a 5 to 10 year timeline to like evaluate and make it what.
Pricey.
I mean, maybe, but we're 2 weeks removed from the current head of the company telling us they're going to focus on core sets, the TCG. We're going to keep the main thing. And now our path forward to save MetaZoo is to pivot away from focusing on the TCG. Like I don't have the faith that you guys have with it.
Where did you hear that I had faith?
No,
there?
I think it ends this year.
Yeah. So like, I think the point is like somebody could save it. The question is, does that happen? Like, does somebody? That's the only hope if you are a fan of MetaZoo. The question is, what is the company that's going to look at MetaZoo and be like, yeah, I'll pay you whatever the owner of MetaZoo wants them to pay. That's the question.
Why would somebody do that? Because we've talked a little bit cryptids being public property. So why does somebody do that other than out of the goodness of their heart?
No, because you're buying the art. You're buying the art. You're buying the
most of the artists moved on. You're buying the art that already exists, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Like that's what you're buying.
I think MetaZoo has. Yeah, I'm not sure I would call it IP, but I think it has a aesthetic, right? Like MetaZoo is still a name. You could probably create some demand and hype. Like MetaZoo had a lot of hype and demand. If you put a name behind that, let's throw one out. Topps. Right? Let's say Topps comes in and says, hey, we've already worked with MetaZoo before. It was relatively, I don't know, maybe in their eyes successful. Not for those of you who bought boxes that were weighable and all that stuff, but like they had fun with it, or they enjoyed it, or they sold product with it, or whatever. The website went down. It was successful back then. Hey, let's throw some money at it and see what we can do with it. They already have the systems in place. Sure. I think that's a hope for MetaZoo fans, in my opinion. But I mean, maybe. I would love, like, I want everyone's selling their stuff this week, and I was tempted to buy a full hollow Mothman. Like, I don't have a Kickstarter full hollow Mothman anymore, and I kind of want one. I love it, but I'm not gonna pay what anybody wants right now for it because of like where I think it's going. But
I don't know, man. It's always a tough topic when I think I see a game get here, but I would love to be, if MetaZoo makes it through the year and does well and some of these changes happen. Listen, I'd love to sit here on this podcast and be like, oh, we made another year, good work, a lot of good things happened. You guys know when MetaZoo has done things in the past that I agree with. I'm happy to say so, but just haven't seen a lot of it lately.
It's certainly easier for the ironic name of our podcast if it's still around.
No way.
You think?
Nope. That's great.
Then it gets real weird real quick.
I think it's real meta. I've been. No matter what happens, podcast itself forever, baby.
Metaverse, a TCG podcast.
Cool. Anything else?
Nope. I'm going to bed.
What are you guys for 2024? What's the goal? Oh, okay. Sorry, George, for asking. Never mind. Just Louis, not George.
Life goal, TCG goal. What's the
whatever you want to give us, man?
I'll give you my life goal. I gotta get to 200 pounds. That's the goal. Start at 236, 238, something like that. I got down to 204 before Christmas. I'm afraid to step on a scale right now. So the goal is to get to.
How many pepperoni sticks do you think it will take to get you there?
I don't know. The goal is to get to 200. That's the life goal, and stay there. Like that's the healthy part.
Dude, that would be, you'd be 50 pounds, 55 pounds lighter than me.
Wow. You're taller though. You're a lot taller.
Crazy.
You're a lot taller. You're giant.
I am really self-conscious about myself now.
Don't giant.
Get to 200 pounds. Please don't.
You're like 6 inches taller.
Yeah, but just please don't. I don't want to be that heavy.
TCG goal. My goal is to finish my first edition base set. Now that I finished Sorcery, I'm like, I gotta finish first edition base set Pokemon. I'm like 17 non-holo cards away and like 9 holos away. So I'm working on it.
That's pretty cool, man. Nice.
I'm afraid to set any channel goals. So.
Oh, I just know I can't achieve any.
I try to stay away from channel goals because I don't know.
I'm goal oriented, but my shorts don't get nearly the play yours do.
Well, it's hard to predict that. Like, it's hard to be like when I set channel goals and then I made a short that like got me I got 5,000 subscribers this week. So like this month. So like that seems, my goal would have been, I don't want to set too short of goals and I don't want to set too high of goals because like they've got to be, it's just impossible to figure out where the actual reach is. But
I gotcha. That's awesome, dude. Well, good luck.
How are your goals?
I think I want to release 2 projects to the public. So like just 2 applications that people can use to the public. So do 2 more this year. And TCG goals, I'm afraid to say it into the mic. I think this becomes the year I want to start moving some of the stuff around and get myself a Lotus.
There you go.
That's a really big goal. Like that for me, as just like someone who doesn't really have a real business doing this stuff, that's a scary goal.
Hashtag get Josh the Lotus. That's gonna be the year.
And I don't want like one of the ones I saw on eBay. I was talking to George. We were looking at Lotus prices, and there was one that was like creased in half. I was like, I guess I can go get that Lotus like right now, but I don't want that Lotus, right? I want like a real Lotus.
So you're gonna put a grade requirement on it? I assume you're talking about unlimited Lotus.
That would be yes, unless things go really well. Unless I come up with a great short schema.
I'm assuming you're poor.
Yeah, unless I go.
That's what I got.
Unless you know, I come up with a great short schema. I think I'm aiming for unlimited Lotus here, and I would think something like 8. You know, 8, 5.
We could have matching Lotus.
I'm not unrealistic. Like I understand I'm not gonna be able to get a 10 of anything, but man, that would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be super cool.
Maybe first edition Charizard's more attainable though. After talking to George, might be
way more,
a little more in my price range.
Way more.
George, any goals?
No. Go to bed.
All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. Remember, be kind to the people around you. May the zoo be with you.
And also with you. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year.